and you have to accept the world the way it is. And I never accepted the way the world it was because of the way I grew up. As I mentioned, when I grew up in Chicago, I thought that the years of World War II I thought everybody was drafted into jail because everybody who'd be at the house was in jail during the war for trying to lead strikes or being political or being left-wing. And only later did I realize there was actual fighting going on, and they weren't just putting in people who read Marx and radical leadership there. So I worked at Chase Manhattan until 1967. Then finally I had to quit to finish the dissertation. Spent a year on that. Then at Chase, I had become the specialist in the oil industry. When the Vietnam War began and escalated, President Johnson in January 1968, right after I joined the bank in December 1967, passed the voluntary, compulsory foreign investment rules, blocking foreign American companies, blocking American companies from investing more than 5% of the growth of the previous year's investment. Well, the oil industry objected to that, and they came to David Rockefeller and said, we've got to convince the government that we're ripping off other countries so fast, we're able to exploit them so rapidly that it really helps us to take over. You've got to have them do the statistics. So David Rockefeller came to me and he said, I want you to do a study of the balance of payments of the oil industry. You can ask all the oil companies all the questions you want, fill out the forms, you can design a accounting statistical format, and we'll give you a year to write it all up. And to me, this is wonderful. Oil was the key. Well, it turned out, I found out that the average dollar invested, that actually was invested abroad of oil companies was recaptured by the U.S. economy within 18 months. The payback period was that fast. The report that I did was put on the desk of every senator and every representative in the United States, and I was celebrated for being the economist of the oil industry. Rockefeller said, we don't want to have the oil and gas department do it because they would be thought of as lobbyists, and nobody knows who you are, so we want to know what the real facts are, and if they're what we think they are, we'll publish what you write. If we don't like it, we'll keep it to ourselves, but please do the study. So this was wonderful. This taught me everything about the balance of payments, which, as I said, is a topic that's not taught in any university. So I finished the dissertation, and then I developed a methodology. Most of the balance of payment statistics were changed when they designed the gross national product accounts. And the accounts now treat exports as if you make $1 million worth of grain exports, you actually get $1 million into the economy. If you export $1 million of arms, of military, it all comes back. And what I found out is that only a portion actually of imports or exports come back. For instance, all of America's oil imports are from American oil companies. So if you pay $100 for oil, maybe $30 of that is profit, $30 is compensation to American management, $30 is the use of American exports of physical equipment, oil drilling equipment and others, to make the oil. The closest people that I worked with for the study was Standard Oil Company, which was always very close to the Rockefellers, as you know. So I went over the statistics and I said, balance of payments, I can't find where Standard Oil makes the profits. Does it make the profits by producing oil at the production end, or does it make it selling it at the gas stations at the retail sales end? And the treasurer of Standard Oil said, I can tell you where we make them? We make them right here in my office. I said, how? He said, I said, what countries do I find this in? He said, I don't find it in Europe, I don't find it in Asia, I don't find it in Latin America or Africa. He said, there, do you see at the very end there's something called international? And I said, yes, that always confused me. Where is I thought all these are international. He said, international means countries that are not really countries. They're Liberia and Panama, countries that only use the US dollar, not their own currency, so that we don't have a currency risk. They're flags of convenience, and they don't have any income tax. So he explained to me that we sell our oil at a very low price from the Near East to Nigeria or to Panama or Lagos or wherever they have the flag of convenience, and then we sell it at a very high price to our refineries in Europe and our refineries in America, and such a high price that they don't make any income. There's no tax to pay. In all of our investment in Europe, there's no tax to pay because we price it so high. And the third world countries, Saudi Arabia, we don't pay them any, we only pay them a royalty. We don't earn an income there because we sell it so low. All of our money is taken in Liberia or Panama and these non-countries. That gave me the clue that people these days talk about money laundering. In the last few months I worked for Chase Manhattan in 1967. I was going up to my office on the 9th floor, and a man got onto the elevator and said, I was just coming to your office, Michael. Here is a report that I'm from the State Department, CIA. We want to calculate how much money we could get if we set up bank branches and became the bank for all the criminal capital in the world. He said, look, we figured out we can finance, and he said this in an elevator, that we can finance the Vietnam War with all the drug money coming into America, all of the criminal money. Can you make a calculation? So I spent 3 months figuring out how much money goes to Switzerland from the drug dealings, what's the volume of drug dealings. They helped me with all sorts of statistic on that. And they said, we can become the criminal capital of the world, and it'll finance the dollar. And this will enable us to afford the spending to defeat communism in Vietnam and elsewhere. And if we don't do that, the bomb throwers will come to New York. So I became a specialist in money laundering. Nothing could have been better. I mean, I had all the statistics. I had the help of all of the government people, explaining to me how the CIA worked with the drug dealing and the criminals and the kidnappers to raise the money. So it would be off the balance sheet funding, and Congress didn't have to approve it when they would kill people and do revolutions. And they were completely open with me. And I realized they'd never done a security check on me.